listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies.
This is AfterBuzz TV's Masters of Sex After Show.
We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show.
It's AfterBuzz TV's Masters of Sex After Show.
Come on, hey!
Let's talk about you and me.
Hey, everybody!
Hello.
What up, what up?
Welcome to Masters of Sex, Season 1, Episode 9, Involuntary.
It was an interesting episode.
Very, very interesting. I've got my lovely co-host today. I've got Roya.
What up? Hello, everybody.
And Lem, our amazing male perspective.
That's right, super amazing. That's it.
And then we've got me and Brule in the house.
Brule, what up?
What up?
At Brule Tweets.
Yeah.
So, what an interesting... I left this show thinking, I was just like sinking in my chair, like... That was a lot to take in. That was a really intense episode. Just lots of feelings going on. Let's start with the beginning of the episode, which was rough sex.
Yes.
Leaving marks on our partners. I was like, I can help out with this section. I can help out with this review. What'd you guys think of that?
It was interesting that Virginia was doing it, and Dr. Masters was just shocked by it. He was mesmerized. I noticed that when he went back home and he was looking at it in the kitchen, he was or in the bathroom, and he was trying to hide it from his wife. I feel like he was looking more into it versus then the science part of it. I think he was enjoying it.
He was. It's so funny to see how nerdy he is in bed. You know that he's just like, that is an involuntary spasm. He's like got all these scientific words for what's happening, and I think that Libby towards the end kind of made a really good point in that sex isn't all these, isn't something that you can just turn into science and pinpoint, and what you have at home and making love is really what's more important. But it is interesting to see him kind of geek out on all the terms and seeing like the clenching, and it's all of that seems so natural, but, during that time, they didn't have all these explanations for, they didn't know if other people were clenching the sheets and, curling their toes and, so it's kind of fun to see.
Even Virginia was kind of geeking out at one point when they're talking about it at the table with his mother later in the episode. But she's like, oh, the neck spasm is, what was it again? And he gives her a terminology for it.
Neck one or the arching of the back.
And she just got this fatty grin on her face.
Yeah.
And, it was...
And honestly, I don't think that he's had it like that before.
Right.
Like, I think this is his first time, and seeing that, obviously in the nature of science, but the fact that she enjoyed it so much to where she leaves these marks, and he's like, how is this possible? Like you said, he was in the bathroom, kind of looking at it almost like a battle wound. Like, this is what I got. You know what I'm saying? As a result of science. But again, the attraction is building, and so then I think that's the other notion that he's given it to her to where she wants it like that.
Well, and I also think it's interesting that I only know what it's like to have sex with me in bed, so I don't know what other, I've obviously have heard stories on both the male part and the female part saying, this is terrible sex, and it's like, isn't everybody tuned in and present when they're having sex? And it's not true, because more, you don't realize how many people kind of, when you said that he hasn't had it like that before, it's like someone hasn't been present, and hasn't been reactive and hasn't really let themselves go into their hot phase and black out to sexual bliss, And
Virginia even mentions it in the beginning, too, when she says, I kind of like black out a little bit. And that's the part where, she gets little nails going.
Right.
Yeah.
And you saw how he was with his wife in the earlier episodes. It was no passion, nothing, remotely close to what he's had with Virginia.
Well, that's what I thought was kind of his best acting moment. I was like, nobody's really like that in bed. But I'm sure there are people that are lights off, really sterile, no talking, pump, 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 go.
Well, he
go
was
back
more,
to sleep.
their goal was to get pregnant, so it was kind of a step-by-step procedure for them. It wasn't like making love or having
feel
fun.
like making love. Liked it.
So it was kind of a different atmosphere for them when they're having sex. I don't think we've seen him and Libby actually full on
That
do
one
it.
time he came home.
When he brought
with
the
the
wood into
wood,
the
yeah,
fireplace,
but
right.
we didn't see it. You
Yeah.
know, like it cut away.
It just kind of cut away. But implied.
Well, yeah, I know, but
But
still.
that was a result of
I wonder if they were sharing
You know
the
what I'm
same
saying?
twin bed that night.
right. But yeah, you got to realize where did that come from, though? Wasn't that a result of a session that he had with Virginia?
Wait, what did what come from?
Talking about when he was passionate about his wife.
Yeah.
That was a result. So I mean, it all goes back to Virginia,
Yeah.
who again is who his real passion is about.
What an interesting place for them both to be in, taking that. And it's interesting to see where they started and everything was okay. And then now, like, there was some tension building, and Virginia was like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm available tonight. And she's playing this, like, I'm actually not always available.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of gotten to this point to where they're kind of both on the same page again. But then he's pulling back a little bit, and it's just like, you can't, I think this just goes to show, again, that you can't turn sex into science, like for long, I think it's hard to not be attached to that person because
It's like the whole friends with benefits thing kind of bites you in
it
the ass.
never works.
Yeah.
Someone always gets hurt, and so what did you guys think tonight about Libby and her mom or his mom?
It was an interesting relationship that they have. Obviously, Libby doesn't have a father or a mother figure because she explained it to us in the episode that the
Right.
father left. But did you guys catch on when she said that when the father left, she said he was dead?
Yes.
I know. I feel
And
like
did you
what
relate-
else is she lying about?
Did you relate back to the episode when they were in Florida and she said that about Bill
Right.
when he left? She said that that's what she does. She kills people. She kills them off.
Right. Emotionally.
She's like
Yeah.
cutting people up. I'm wondering if there's a slight mental, sort of psychotic thing going on there. I don't know. I mean,
Well, I
I
think
love
it
Libby,
could
but
be. Yeah, I think
but
that's
I think
how
that
she handles it.
Well, I think that they say that the worst torture that you could give a human is isolation, and I feel like she is being isolated at home. Her husband is emotionally available, like zero, like nothing, not
Negative.
even a little
Right.
bit.
Yeah, -2.
Yeah, I mean, he's.
Which we can kind of go back to the whole Freud thing, where you wanted, the whole Freud's women want to date their fathers, men want to date their mothers. So you can kind of go back where if her father abandoned her, she's used to that whole isolation thing,
Right.
And therefore,
Right.
I mean, I'm just pulling something.
Maybe
completely
it's
out of my-
familiar.
you
Yeah,
know?
I know.
But it's comfortable for her. So can you imagine if she did find someone like the gardener that actually did care for her? How different that would be for her.
Right.
I know. Shell shock.
Fingers crossed for that to happen.
I know. And how weird is it that his mom just keeps popping up
Yeah.
at his work? And I mean, she's so intrusive. I feel like he's about to. I feel like she's right on the ice of like getting him like going off on her.
I think that goes back to the past, and that kind of developed a little bit in this episode when they had their moment,
Yeah.
and they talked about how her husband was not there. Basically, he was having an affair with the secretary, and what she thinks he's doing. But I think she's trying to basically kind of save face in the sense like build this relationship that she never really had with her son. You can tell that they don't have a good relationship. Even the fact that she showed up and like I said, you look like you saw a ghost. They don't have a relationship. He kind of is tolerating her for the sake of
I know, it's so weird.
You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
more
So-
just blood related, but that's why
Exactly.
he deals with her.
Exactly.
It's kind of unfortunate, but she's still trying to redeem that relationship with him now that his father's dead, and it's kind of a way for her to be able to get his, chance to love her again. Even though it's
Right.
never going to happen. But she even confesses to him, you're right. She knew about the whole beating. She didn't step up. She didn't confess. She didn't do anything.
Which
she
we
was a
saw a
coward.
glimpse of, in earlier episodes.
And so now she's kind of finally saying, hey, you need to stop doing whatever their relationship, his and Virginia's are. That it's kind of, she's finally vocalizing, like, you
Right.
need to choose. But I found it really interesting that she didn't just tell him, stop doing what you're doing, get back to Libby. It was make a choice. Kind of, usually mothers are more, that's not right, don't do
Right.
that, go
Right.
back, get back
Right.
to Libby. I love Libby, I love, But instead, she was just like, hey, make your choice, choose your choice.
Do something.
Yeah, do
Do something.
Don't be on the
Yeah.
fence.
I know.
Sorry, did I just jump ahead right there? I was like,
that's perfect. No, take it away. I thought that. I wish that I'm not a big fan of the mom, and so her being so intrusive, just showing up and trying to be a mom. I guess it works, but I don't really think she has much of a leg to stand on with.
With Libby, she does. With the whole dead bird part. When
I don't know. What was Libby doing with that? Like,
I think it's symbolized.
It's symbolic.
Yeah, for
symbolic.
her baby that she lost.
What was the worst thing that she had ever done?
This whole episode, she wasn't saying what it was, even though obviously we should know.
I think she slept with
That's what I was thinking.
The handyman.
Really? No.
It's not, though, but I was hoping.
No.
What? I was hoping he'd come back.
I think
Regular on the show, Walter.
Right. And he could very well, still be in the picture. I think it's something that she still hasn't come clean, because when they confronted each other, that in that moment, they both said they've lied to each other.
Yeah, Masters and
What did that mean? I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know what she was. I feel like there's another script that we can't see, like an invisible script floating around, like lines.
Pop out probably for the finale episode. It'll be
I'm curious to see what everyone else thinks about that.
Right.
What about Ethan's emotional breakup with Vivian?
Oh, I'm so hurt.
I know. That was so funny. I'm not a religious person, so it's hard for me to speak on this, on how important it would be to have someone convert over to my religion, but I've seen it happen before, and I've seen people convert instantly, and then like years later, friends of mine that have converted, they've both lost track of the religion. It's weird, so it's like if you're just doing it to do it, I feel like it will take you away from your religion, like it will take the other person away because you're not invested.
Right. It's I would say it's never a good idea. I grew up in church, so I've been
what kind of
involved
church?
with that. Christian.
Okay.
Christian. So I'm not married and never have been, but if I was to get with someone and they did not share my religion, that would be hard in itself.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want someone to say, well, I'll convert for the sake of our relationship.
Yeah.
I would want them to have a personal relationship, with the religion or God or something of that nature, as opposed, because then it's not going to work. You're not going to have a leg to stand on.
I just feel like it's so much easier to shack up with someone that's more similar to you. There are so many people out there. You don't have to raise these confused children that are, doing Hanukkah and Christmas. I feel like you can, but I just feel like it's so much easier there's a bunch of research that will indicate that staying with someone that couples will stay together longer if they're opposites, or couples that are more alike will stay together, and I definitely sit on the side of if you're more alike. Easier, better.
Well, I liked how Vivian was willing to make this relationship work with Ethan, and Ethan just couldn't do it because he realized, which I'm happy he finally realized it, that he's just floating in whatever direction people are telling him to do. He's not standing up for himself, and finally, even though it comes to the cost of Rose McIver's character, Vivian, but he's deciding to break it off with her.
Well, when he said "you pick me," that was the dagger right there. That hurt. That hurt. And we knew it was coming.
That hurts every girl out there that's picked the guy.
Yeah.
Right. But we knew it was coming. We foresaw it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As time was going, because of how he still feels about Virginia.
Yeah. I kind of thinking back on our last episode with Rose when she was on our show, and Spicy was trying to get a little bit something out of her. Yeah. Ironic that's the next episode.
Exactly.
Happens, so
exactly.
It was great, but
Ethan is fine though. I'm sorry, he was looking extra hot tonight. I was like, dang, can we get Ethan on the show?
Right.
It's so hot.
Well, hopefully he does.
Maybe. But how interesting. I feel like my favorite part of the show is towards the end when there's this difficult tension between Virginia and Dr. Masters with him. Her volunteering to, first off, do the taping, which I knew on some perverted level he would like it. And then that had nothing to do with science. And then 2, he paid her. I felt like that was the biggest slap in the face. Like that was the biggest slap that he could have given her.
What did you guys get from that? What was your feelings about that?
I felt like that was him trying to detach.
Okay. Okay.
I definitely agree. I think he was trying to push her away
because he found out that Libby was pregnant. I feel like Libby getting pregnant had something to do with him like realizing, hey, I'm Libby's husband. I have to draw a line.
I didn't think of that.
Oh, yeah, because I feel like his his personality, he changed. I mean, I feel like they were really, co-pilot, pilot, like going along the same energy there.
Right.
And then as soon as Libby finds out that she's pregnant, or he finds out that Libby's pregnant, he's like Mr. Detached, and he,
Yeah.
I think that, and I think also a combination of the mother's conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two involved made him get to the point. Because I agree with you in the fact that he paid her because he wanted to kind of symbolize that, it was just a working relationship and nothing more than what it had been.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of synonymous and we are doing this together. And she said, this is our practice.
Yeah.
And so not just yours, but he's trying to take away from that, which is going to be unsuccessful. And he had to know that she's too smart and too emotionally involved to go with that. Mm-hmm. And it backfired really. And he had to know, he's a genius, but at the same time, he lacks sometimes common sense when it comes to feelings, especially with women, and how to interact with them. He's so one-sided, and that was a clear indication that he just didn't do the right thing with that.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the right thing, but I think he had to do it. And even though he called her a whore, basically through giving her the money. I kind of thought Moulin Rouge too, by the way, when I saw that. But anyways, I was waiting for them to break out.
Picking up some Moulin Rouge.
But it kind of sucks for her. She realized she was getting attached, and then when she said love and sex are two different things, I think she realized when she was in the car crying, she just suckered herself into the whole thing. And at least that's what I got from it. That she put herself out there with him, and he finally gave her a reality slap, and she realized, wow, what was I doing? I was playing house kind of mentality.
Right.
And he kind of brought her back down, and she realized it's finally just a study. And Ethan.
Which is curious because there are so many mixed signals going on with him,
There's a lot. There's it's this power struggle. It's like one time one kind of puts themselves out there, then the other one does, then one pulls away. It's like they go back and forth all the time with their, relationship. So it's kind of hard to kind of see, because obviously there's going to be more to it. But it's just like right now she's the one, that is feeling the brunt of, how he feels, and what he's putting out there at this moment, because it could change. Yeah, it could change.
It's gonna change because he always changes.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's very inconsistent with his emotions. Yeah, because he's always like fighting, and I want him to have another release like he did that episode when he just broke down and he cried in front of her.
Look away, Virginia. I'll never forget him putting his hands on her eyes to close her eyes.
Can I see this? But no, really, he needs to have another one because he has so much, with his mother, with his late father, with his wife. There's so much that he has pent up, and he tries to hide behind his practice, and he can't do it anymore. Yeah, it's kind of unraveling, and so there has to be a moment that he kind of just goes to one side and sticks with that.
I feel like she's turned into a drinking game. Anytime he becomes an ass of Virginia, take a shot. I'm just saying.
Right.
Might get a little tipsy by the end of the episode, but
right.
At least you'll be paying attention to that,
I'm wondering, now that we saw the preview to the next show, now that it looks like, to continue on to what you were saying, Lim, with the power struggle, Virginia's going to start dating Ethan again, which makes Dr. Masters go bananas.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So, it's just what is going on? And I know from the, I was reading something saying that Dr. Masters in real life had 2 test tube babies with Lizzie, or I don't even know if that's her real name outside, but so this isn't him and Virginia don't team up officially till much later on. So this is going to go on if they're going to keep. If they're going to
Virginia, so
if they're going to keep going on like this, there's 2 babies. So it's and every season, so they won't be getting together until 3rd season if it gets renewed.
Yeah.
Do you think that it'll because they've jumped ahead before, so I guess it kind of depends how it plays out.
Yeah, I just wonder. I've dealt with a few couples who have had infidelities, and being the on the outside of a marriage, what Virginia's doing, is no fun. I mean, that takes so much. I mean, women that do that take a beating. Likewise, I've seen men who've been on the outside of a marriage too, and it's like you're never really in there. And I think that's what Virginia is gonna start to. I don't know how long she can be on the outside, and here she is like lashing out and dating Ethan, and dang well she isn't interested in him at all.
Yeah.
He doesn't, and I think what she really, it's so funny that there's a power struggle between them, because I think what she really likes about Dr. Masters is his power, his authority, his education, his expertise, that alpha male.
Yeah, she's attracted to his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I don't know how long she'll be able to deal with being on the outside. I mean, years.
Well,
I don't know.
This might be a little
Maybe
bit
we should read the book.
Backtracking a little bit, but I liked how when they're in the porn shop and they're trying to get the film developed, I liked how Masters protected her honor, kind of. Like, he's like, you don't talk like that in front of a lady.
Right.
And then she just kind of looked back and smiled, and I think that was the moment where she realized maybe she's feeling more for him than expected, and that's why later it hurts
I think
even
it's
more.
great that she was like, hey, you got a nickel? Let's check this out. When in Rome.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I loved it. I think that it was an interesting show. I'm curious to see how this unfolds and how long this affair with Ethan lasts, because I just, it's not fair to do that to him either. Because, he genuinely loves her.
He does, and he did mention how the one time he did actually go out for, fight for something or go for it, it didn't work out, and he was obviously referring to Virginia about that.
Exactly.
Even though they were talking about religion and all that.
I don't know why Virginia doesn't go for him. He is fine.
A little bit of a slap. Maybe that'll remind you.
Oh, the slap. Oh,
Yeah,
he was just
verbal
angry.
abuse.
Why would she pull away from him? Her fault.
What's wrong with her? Dang her.
I would
It was a doorknob. It wasn't him.
Right. Exactly.
She tripped.
It was more like a pat.
Love tap.
Yeah.
That's it. Love tap.
Love tap.
What was it? Lester. I love Lester on the show.
Oh my gosh, how funny was he during the show? Do you masturbate too, Lester? He's like, yeah, sometimes. I mean, not here.
He's cute. I hope he stays on, and I don't know. I get a good relationship chemistry between him and Jane.
Yeah. Well, what's also interesting is she volunteered, and I think that, speaking again on Power Plays, I think that she had Dr. Masters film her, and she asked him. She said that she would do it only if he was
Virginia.
And I felt like that was her way of also reaching out on an intimacy level. Making it private between them two. More, put us more in like this special place. Because Lester should have been the one to do it. I mean, if she was going to do it in the study, just like everybody else, she should have just done it. The most important thing in research is consistency, and that they're doing the same exact thing to every single participant. So I think it was interesting. I'm surprised he didn't just jump up on top of her. He was getting excited, I could tell. I wish they would have showed an erection.
Well, and then you saw him at the end watching the tape again.
Oh, yeah, he was such a little weirdo.
And he wasn't taking notes. He was just watching it. I wonder if that was his way of saying goodbye, in a way, kind of.
No, I think that was him living in his secret life of, I love Virginia.
And you can't have her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
wait, so what team? Are you Team Virginia or are you Team Libby?
Well, I
know you're Team Vivian.
I'm Team Vivian.
That's that's done.
No, I don't. No, she's not going anywhere. She's coming back. No, I would say out of the two, I'm going to be Team Virginia just because, just because. I mean, I see where his passion is. You know what I'm saying? He is not happy with his wife. That's the bottom line. He's not happy.
Not because of anything she's not doing. He's
just not, whether he's not in love with her anymore or the passion is not there or whatever, there's the disconnect. And he's there because she is his wife. I mean, again, this is the 50s. So
involuntarily.
A traditional time where you kind of just stayed until, saying something happened and, all of that kind of stuff. You didn't talk about infidelity. It wasn't, you as you can see, they lie to each other all the time to protect one another, which it's really not helping. But, it's kind of backlash. But anyway,
Ryan's great. He does great things.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that he wants to be with Virginia. Virginia wants to be with him because of the powers that be and because of what's going on. They can't act on their feelings.
I wonder why Libby wants to be with him.
Security.
Yeah.
I think security.
Why does she call him Daddy? Can any of our people that watch on YouTube or iTunes, why does she call him Daddy?
I think that's what they say during that time frame. I think that's how they would
I feel like you say Daddy if you have children together, because you're like, okay, well, what did Daddy say? You know, or...
Possibly, but I think it's also how you're raised.
Freud thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that why all the rap songs? Is that why the rap songs are always like, she's calling me Daddy? It's always referenced in rap songs. I'm just saying, they got it from somewhere.
Right, they got it from rap songs. Rap songs got it from there.
Rap songs got it from them.
Got it from 50, exactly. They reference. That's hilarious. They read the book. All the rappers read the book. They all read it. Oh, that call it Daddy. There it is. Yeah, no, I think it's like you said, the Freud complex. I think it's probably during that time too. I don't know, but again, being more traditional time, I think it was something that was said more or less in reference to the men took care of the woman. As you can see, she doesn't work. That was more the June Cleaver type situation where the women were homemakers and stuff like that. So I think it's a reference point. I don't think it's too much to be read into it.
Yeah.
But yeah. It is interesting.
How did you guys feel after this episode?
Honestly, I was a little disappointed, but I know that every season there's always an episode near the end that you have to have a plateau, kind of like calm a little bit before the storm, like a crazy blow up. So
why were you disappointed?
It wasn't as exciting as I'd hoped it to be.
I know they could have gone a little
more dramatic. I mean, yeah, there was a lot like with Vivian and Ethan. That was really that was probably the only real dramatic, and then the ending.
Part.
But that was the ending.
Right. The ending's always going to be that way.
Yeah. So I feel that maybe the next few episodes, like this was the setup for all of them. Kind of to be able to be like, oh, geez,
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, they show
I do that, by the way, during shows. Oh, geez. That's my reaction.
Right.
Yeah. That was...
What about you, Lim? How did you feel after this episode?
I had a lot of questions. Like, I had mixed emotions. Of course, I was mourning, the loss of my dear Vivian, of course.
Rose.
Yes. So... Aside from that, I thought there was just a lot of untold, there was a lot of implications. There's a lot of implying certain things, in some of the discussions. I think I did like the mom kind of stepping in, even though I don't think you said you like her too much.
The mom?
Yeah.
That was Jenna.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Jenna didn't
Not
like
to point
the mom.
Fingers.
Sorry, Jenna didn't like the mom. Hating on her. But no, I think it was good that she kind of stepped up to him, and kind of exposed that, because I was waiting for that, because it felt like there was an elephant in the room with the whole situation, what happened with her not, being there for him when he was getting beat, by the father and stuff like that.
They finally tied in that little clip.
I'm glad,
with her.
I'm glad that happened. But it's just, just leave me with a lot of mixture. The whole Virginia thing, his wife thing, even though they had the discussion, it still was kind of not unresolved issues.
They kept saying it a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a lot of mixed feelings.
A lot of mixed feelings.
Yeah, a lot of mixed feelings.
Yeah, this one I just I walked away with some sadness. It was just like, man, that sucks. It sucks to see complicated situations, like with Virginia and Dr. Masters, where on one hand you do want to root for them and say yeah, but then the beginning of their love story is the heartbreak of someone else, which makes me sad.
Makes me happy. I'm just kidding.
That's how I get my thrills. It's hard, and then to see, I feel like as an audience being able to view movies and things like that, you get to see both people's perspectives, and I just think it's hard. It's a hard thing to watch. So many people not get exactly what they want. And I
will say, looking at this whole perspective of just the show and where it's set in this time, I feel like women just really did not have there was no equality. There was no equality.
The show made you realize that?
No, I mean, yeah, watching the show. No. Well, with the rappers, I read the book. But no, I mean, I just, of course, I knew that, but it just seeing it, what I'm saying, in this time period, being so fixated on how it is now and how it's so much different, how a lot of things happen as a result of women either not being able to say how they felt or being suppressed or whatever, they're thinking that they would jeopardize their situation as far as their marriage or
where they
whatever
had to
was
go to
going
be a
on.
doctor.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
doctor.
You know what the exactly. Lillian is dealing with. I mean, and her character, I really want to get more with her character too.
Yeah.
You know, I really want to find out. You know, they touched on her having, you know, the it was a cancer,
Cervical cancer, yeah.
Exactly. So touching on that, I do like the bond that is happening though between her and Virginia.
Yeah.
A little
and I
tiny.
Tiny. It's tiny. Little
I
bitty.
feel like it's gonna backfire. I feel like
think
that's
so?
gonna bite Virginia in the ass.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I think
'Cause
she's
the
gonna
boys
die
already-
before she is.
Harsh. At least I
Lillian's
don't
gonna die.
wish
Don't
death.
worry.
So much stuff.
You know, no, I mean, I just feel like the boys in the class are going to take some way of getting it out on the teacher and Virginia. I feel like that's
Really?
going to backfire. Yeah, if they see them having lunch together more
Yeah,
often.
what was the point of that plot line then if nothing happens with it?
So, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll find out.
I don't know. We'll find out. The boys suck, by the way. They're whack.
Yeah,
They're totally whack.
They're
they're
whack.
children, apparently.
Right.
You know.
Trying to call her old and that was uncalled for. As you were
that's how
asking
it
for
was.
help. But
That's-
exactly, I go back to my point that I learned today watching the show that I never knew about ever.
Now, one last thing I'd like to say about you guys just made me think this. With her performance evaluation, you know, it was so nice, but then he said that her biggest strength is her biggest weakness is that she cares too much and that she can't detach.
No, she was saying that.
Oh,
She was
That was the part
rewriting
she was
his
writing, yeah.
rewriting his evaluation.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I thought that he had wrote that.
No, he was giving her like high praise, and he's saying that without her, this project would not be existence.
Oh,
and
she
when
was
she read it to
rewrote
them,
it.
yeah.
Right.
So after he gave her the money or offered her the money, she went back home and she rewrote
She
it.
wrote it.
Oh,
Kinda more of
I
what he
didn't
would
catch
say.
that part. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought she was
It's okay. I looked away when I thought she was taking the money. I was like, oh, she took the money. That's weird.
Which
Why
is,
she
which
cried?
is also, I think, the reason why, or one of the reasons why the mom came to him, because remember she was in the room
Yeah,
when that was
when she read
happening, and hearing what he's saying, he's like, oh, there's something else going on.
Yeah.
So I think that adds to why she confronted him and said, what's going on with you and your assistant?
Yeah, because I think the mom even mentioned something before she read the evaluation that he can't really. He's not very colorful with his words. And then when she was reading it, he was very like, da, da, da,
Right.
da, 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 da.
Right.
That's my description of the evaluation.
Because I was thinking that he wrote that, and I was like, it was almost like he was warning himself that he's not getting, like, that he needs to stay more detached. But
No, but that was her, and then that kind of ties in with her whole realizing she's getting attached to it.
oh, very, very interesting. The plot thickens.
Thickens.
All right, you guys, what do we think? What are our predictions? Let's do some predictions here. Lem, what do you think?
Your AfterBuzz
What do you think is going to
TV.
happen? Who's going to get pregnant? Is it going to be Walter's baby?
You wanted to. You wanted to.
Oh, Walter baby.
You want a Walter baby.
Team Walter baby.
Walter baby. Okay,
I'm going to make a t-shirt for that.
Right, Team Walter. I think
Baby is very important.
Right. I think that Masters is going to try to reconnect with his wife because of the situation with the baby and what his mom has told him. And I think they're going to try to mend or kind of bring together their relationship.
Come together
Exactly. Right now. So that's going to happen. And then I think, of course, Virginia is, as we saw, is going to get with Ethan. But I think that's going to, I think we all agree that's going to totally backfire. And yeah,
She's
so that's
just
what
going to mess up her whole emotional psyche there,
Yeah.
because she's going to do like hate sex with Ethan, and then she's going to be missing Dr. Masters' stuff, and then maybe mixing the two of them, and then she's going to be confused and angry, and
she's going to go through a roller coaster.
Sounds like she's going to have some good sex, though. I'm
roller
just saying.
coaster of love. So what?
This is a jukebox today.
I'm sorry if I hear a song.
There it is.
I have to
Right. Sing it.
I feel like, you covered most of, what I was thinking too. I feel that Barton's gayness is going to come out more again. We can't leave it like that. The relationship with Barton and his wife has to come back into the storyline.
I know. It's so weird that they didn't show them.
I know.
This.
It's really
they just
bummed.
dropped
Yeah.
them off right off the storyline.
They
Bumped
kinda-
them right
So
off.
next
back.
episode,
They're
they'll come
coming
back.
back.
And then I think Vivian is going to be like, with Virginia. And
Vivian is going to come back.
Yeah.
She's
She's
going to
gonna
come
be-
back. She's going to reclaim her man.
I
be
hope
an
she does
ultimate
something different with
bitch.
her hair. That's about the time when girls start doing crazy stuff with their hair.
Because she's still so. How old is she?
I don't remember how old her character is supposed to be.
Yeah,
but
she's like,
she's going to use her daddy's power to get back, which I think she's already started doing because you see Barton failed with Ethan.
I know, that's bullshit.
Yeah. What was it?
Not allowed to cuss on here when I'm sorry. That's bullshit. I'm gonna say it again.
What were your predictions?
I predict some more melancholy, sad, intense episodes.
Yeah.
That's basically what I've got. I hope to see more sex though. So,
well, hopefully.
I like that they were doing like screenshots in the very beginning of the when you had me upright, and it was like poo poo poo.
Yeah.
You know, I wish that we could see more in depth because I think that would make that would keep me in touch with the show a little bit more. If I saw a little bit more
visual sexual.
I want visuals of masters.
You don't want masturbating?
No, I want some I want some man on girl stuff or two girls on one guy. I don't care. Let's just see some crazy shit.
Okay.
Jenna's getting some cray going on here.
Let's see it. Let's get exciting. This is the Masters of Sex. I'm not saying this is like Masters of Sex, but it's like awkward sex, more like it. So I need some experienced sex going on here, please. Somebody.
Okay.
Anyways, sorry.
All right.
Sorry, it's episode 9. I had to say something.
No, let's go.
Who's with me? Who's with me on YouTube and iTunes? Who is with me? Okay.
Oh, gosh.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please let us know what you thought of the show. If you would like to catch us, I'm at Jenna Time Tweets on Twitter. Roya, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hey Roya, and I will be on SNL, which is coming up right after this. Special guest Kevin Farley.
Gonna have to Google that later.
Yeah. And you can find me at Instagram and on Twitter at The Poet Saint all day, every day.
The Poet Saint will give any girl love advice if you're looking. I just offered that up for you.
No pressure. No pressure.
Like I need to
You're our male perspective.
I am the male perspective.
You're our male perspective. So, ladies, if you have any questions. All right. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.